Hey guys, this is Heretic, and it's Tuesday, June 15th, 2021, and this is the King of Avalon statistics video, part 1. In a game like KOA, there is so much going on, especially for a new player, even for a vet. There's so much going on. A lot of times you lose focus on the things that are important in the game. They're going to help you win in PvP, in war. All right, so before we really get started, if you enjoy King of Avalon and mobile gaming videos like this, please click the like button. And while you're at it, go ahead and click that subscribe and the little bell to be notified when other videos like this come out. Usually, you don't pay attention to stats until you lose your first battle. So let's just assume you've already lost a battle and now you want to learn more about stats. So here we go. This is a battle report. When you look in your mail, when you go to the War tab, you'll see your wins and your losses there, your victories and your defeats. So this just happens to be a victory. I've lost many battles as well. All right, in the battle report, you'll see at the top, you'll see your dragon stats, you'll see your heroes, you'll see how many troops you lost and how many they lost, and kills, losses. One thing that I can tell you from a battle report, this losses column, row, is the most important here. These are the ones you would have to completely remake. The troops you'll have to train from scratch. Wounded, you can just heal. So anyway, when I talk about stats, when I look at stats, I like to divide stats into 4 different categories. I'm going to go over them really quickly now and then go into a lot of detail afterwards. So the top stats, your troop attack, troop defense, and troop health. These stats add to your troop type attack. So your infantry attack, you take this 1990, you add the 1118, and that really gives you your score. Same thing goes for defense and health. Okay, so they apply to your infantry, your cav, your bowman. All right, so your top stats are your troop attack, troop defense, and troop health. Your middle stats are everything from infantry attack through siege health. When I'm discussing stats, I'm going to purposely leave off all the siege stats as well, because they do not help you in battle. So you have your top stats are your troop attack, troop defense, troop health. Your middle stats are your infantry attack, defense, health, cav attack, defense, health, and bowman attack, defense, health. Those are the ones you're going to focus on in the middle stats. The bottom stats are the most important stats. They are your damage plus and your negative received. So the amount of damage that your troop does to someone and the damage reduction that you have when they attack you, when they're hitting you. Okay, and these, and when I say that really quickly, in a battle in King of Avalon, imagine many waves of attacks. So even these damage received, these modifiers, work when you're attacking as well. So defense is actually taken into account when you're attacking because they're attacking you back. It's two big armies attacking each other in waves. Think of it that way. All right, so that's the third. So the first one is the top stats. The middle stats are here, the infantry through bowman. And then the bottom stats are the damage plus and the negative damage received. And your your modifiers here, the bowman versus infantry, cav versus infantry damage, your damage stats. Okay, the fourth is your PvE stats, and those will not show up here. They're going to be your troop load, your resource gathering, speed, those types of stats. Those are separate stats. For this project, I've cataloged the stats in the game right now in solar. So while this is specific to solar, there will be a lunar version of this, but a lot of it is the same as far as not the actual numbers, but where stats are coming from. Okay, so I've compiled a catalog of all stats, where they're coming from. Just take a quick look. I'm not going to bore you with all the numbers here, but you have all the items, all the heroes, all the research stats, dragon stats, talents, and accolades currently in solar. Alrighty, and currently these are the theoretical maximums if you were you maxed out every possible stat, including your alliance research, your all of the titles, you had all of the relics, you have Stronghold 45 with maxed out research, and your maxed out items and heroes. Okay, so let's go back. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. And as a warning, as you just saw, there will be numbers here. There'll be a little bit of math. You won't have to do the math, but there's math involved here. And there'll be some charts and graphs and stuff like that. If that really bothers you, you look away now. So currently, and this goes for lunar, I believe, and for solar, the rotation of items in the game goes gems, then equipment, then hero weapons, and then sometimes new heroes, and emblems, and then it'll start back over. Each of the rotation steps happens after 2 rounds of honor passes, so that's equivalent to about a month. We're about to finish our second honor pass here for hero weapons. That means the next honor pass, when it starts, will get rank 6 emblems. So there's a couple different places you can look at your overall stats. One of them is here in your profile. Click more info, and if you scroll down far enough, you will see your troop attack, troop defense, troop health, crit hit chance, etc. And this is all based on the stats you get from gems, equipment, research, heroes, hero weapons, from your talents, from your relics, from your titles, your city buffs, your alliance research, accolades, VIP stats, and from the stats you get from troop buildings, which it's just 5. 5 stats for infantry health, cav attack, and for bowman attack. So that's what you see here. The big one, I was going through this and I was trying to find, what are the stats that are left? What is actually, being represented here? And the one that I forgot about is alliance research, which gives quite a bit. So don't slight that. This alliance research gives quite a bit. It gives 50 to troop attack, defense, and health, and then 100 to each of the other stats. This is something that most people will donate to their alliance on a daily basis, at least once a day. Sometimes twice if you want to get the full rewards from your honor pass. You definitely want to get your alliance rewards, your merit, on a daily basis by donating. That will help your alliance kind of build out. Knowing what you're doing as an alliance too is really important. It's not on the combat to get to the end, right? Not to get to the end the quickest. Focus on the stats that are going to help your alliance the most. Your troop stats are critical. Your any stats that give like the accuracy, this is your bowman attack, that's critical. Your infantry defense and spirit, your resolve and your spirit is your defense, and your health, critical. Again, not the infantry damage so much. So having a plan here as an alliance as you go through to not waste, your alliance points. And I know at the beginning it's a little bit hard because you just want to get through stuff and you don't have as many options to pick whenever you're researching. But definitely, you definitely don't want to waste. You don't want to spend too much in your siege that's completely useless and then not, max out your troop attack and your troop defense and your bowman damage, that kind of thing. These damage stats, again, super important. You have bowman damage and you have your cav damage. You want to go through those. So focus on the things that are going to help your members the most. It's going to help you in all of your events, your portal, your alliance hunt, everything. It's going to help you go through. So don't slight your alliance research, because when I was looking at mine and trying to figure out like what all comes from this, is included here, it was the one thing that I completely forgot about. And when I figured it out, it's like, duh. And I was like, wow, I didn't realize, you could get that many stats from just your alliance research. So don't forget about that. The other place where you can see your stats is if you go here to Dragon, and then over here by the taco truck, you click the eye. So the stats that are here, all of these stats come from your Dragon, obviously, your Dragon skills. It comes from emblems. It comes from there's also Dragon skills. So one of your Dragon skills in Draconic, we'll call it a Draconic skill. Over here, you actually get 20 to your bowman attack, to all of your main stats, not your middle stats. So getting these stats, is critical. I don't know why I can't scroll up to see everything. Oh, interesting. Okay, there we go. So seeing all of that and knowing where it comes from is important. They don't really tell you in the game these things. You have to kind of figure it out on your own. All right, so let's take a look at all the places that you get stat increases. So really, as just a quick overview, you have your equipment and you have your gems, right? Both of those are important. You have your hero weapons, which we just got rank 6 not too long ago, 3 weeks ago. You have your emblems, which here, dragon. You have your draconic stones. If you go to draconic, these guys here, click skills, and you will see the overall effect of the of your draconic stones, what they have for your stats. You have your relics. So in relics, you have your blade, which gives you 15 to each. None of the other ones will give you more than that for your temporary relics. The main relics don't give you any main stat increases. The king will give you some, including army plus attack and plus damage received. All right, you also have your research, your university research. Ooh la la. So your combat 2, and then you get combat 2 at 26, and then later on you get your war fury, which does not give any stat increases, your main stats, but the King's Legion does. It gives you attack stats. So as you go, and this is, down here is when you're at the 45. Right. And also your talents give you stats. So here you go. Your buildings, your troop buildings, this is solar, give you stats. So if you look here in info and go to more info, you'll see they give you cav attack and damage received stats. Same thing goes for your bowman. Go here to info, more info. You'll see, and this all starts at level 31. Right, so a little bit of bowman attack, and that's not 5% each level, that's 5% total. When you can tell the difference here, because whenever it's per level, you'll see it increase. So you'll see, 0.5 will go to 1, so you get a 0.5 increase there. Then you get another 0.5 increase to 1.5, and then a 0.5 to 2, and then a big jump between 44 and 45. You go up 3% bowman damage. That's the same thing for infantry, but it is health. So if you look here, more info. Here you have your infantry health and damage received starting at 41. Now, another place that we missed on Dragon up here, I just kind of mentioned it. If you go to Dragon skills, click your dragon, you get some stuff here. You also get troop health here with your dragon blessing, which is where your wounded conversion is. Here on Cav, you get damage on 1 and attack. Okay, so that's one of your main stats, and you also get your bottom stats, and that'll be in a separate video too. All right, here you get your bowman damage. That's one of the bottom stats, and the bowman versus Cav here. Here you get the bowman attack. Here you get the infantry defense, and here you get the infantry health. So these are all the places that you get stats from. And in the next videos, you'll see we'll go through them individually and weigh them compared to where you get stats in other places, and the reason why that's important. The thing that I've always wanted to do, and I haven't done it before, and I'm finally going to do it with this project, is figure out where should I focus? Where should I get, if I'm going to upgrade one thing, what should I do? What makes the most sense? Where should I focus? Instead of focusing on, why would I focus on equipment, more than my hero weapons, right? When is the break point? When should I, when I get to a certain, level of equipment, like right now I'm at +2 and +3, does it make sense for me to upgrade the sword rather than going over to hero and, some of the other stats that are there, upgrading that hero weapon? All right. So another place you get stats is from your actual heroes, and this is a big source of stats. So in each one of these heroes, you get skills. There's two different stats, or stat levels, stat items you get from heroes. One of them is the skills. The skills are really important. As long as you have these heroes appointed, you get their stats. So if you don't have them appointed, you don't get their stat benefit, their skill benefit. So on each one of these, you get a certain stat, and then as you raise the star level of the hero, that stat will go up by this amount. So right now it's at +13.3. If I go to star 5, it'll go up by, what is that, 9.5? Right, that's how you read that. So heroes are a huge benefit. So you have on each hero set, so the sets right now for me in Solar are King Arthur's Soul and Lancelot. I have Dendrain and Brutus is the other set here. And then the third combat-related set that I have is Bors and Gorlois. These have replaced some of the sets that we had in the past, which include, your Knight, Red Knight, and Igraine, who quickly get replaced with Bors and Gorlois. And then you have your Sir Gawain and Uther, who get within 1 month get replaced by King Arthur and Lancelot. And then you have your Morian and Oberon, who get replaced with Dindrain and Brutus. So these guys, their skills do not count now because they are not appointed. And I didn't mean to close that, but they're not appointed. So everybody who's appointed, their stats count. So, you know, over here I have infantry health with Bors. Sorry. And then Dindrain will have infantry health. And then Sir King Arthur will have infantry health. And you add all of those up together, and that's the total you get from heroes. So it's not just from the heroes that you send out on a march where you get, you know, where stats come into play. When you send heroes out in a march, even if you don't have them appointed, you get their stats, you know, their unique skill applied. So if I send out, for example, even though I don't have Uther and Sir Gawain appointed, if I send them out in a march, I'll get the infantry health boost and I'll get the infantry defense boost. And the same thing goes if I put Sir Gawain and Uther on my wall. And to put them on your wall, just real quick, just in case you don't know, you go to your wall defenses, and then you can select who you want to be on the wall. So if I went here and selected this. So the ones you have on your wall are important because when your castle gets attacked, those are the heroes that will represent you in battle. If you don't have anyone appointed, then the game will randomly select 2 for you. Okay, so I hope this helps. In the follow-up video, the first video of this series, or the second video of this series, I'm going to go over gems and equipment and the stats that those give. After that, I'm going to focus on dragons, which would be the dragon skills, the dragon level, the evolve, you know, how evolving your dragon increases your stats. I'll go over draconic stones and emblems. The one after that will be heroes and hero weapons. And then after the video after that in the series will be research, alliance research, and your individual university research, and everything else on combat, which would be the infantry building and, you know, the troop buildings. And then in the last video, we'll go over your PvE skills, such as your harvesting skills, your training skills, your researching skills, and everything else that's PvE related. Okay, so I hope this video helps, and it's just the intro, and immediately I will drop the gems and equipment follow-up video.